Hello, and welcome to my initial review of the DJI Mini 5 Pro drone. I've had this drone a little over a week now, so it's not like I really know what I'm talking about, but neither today, so here goes. Some of the points I'm going to cover in this video are buying and receiving the drone, first use, comparison, by that I mean comparison between the Mini 4 Pro and a little bit of the Air 3S, although not too much. Some insights, thoughts, pro-con issues, overall statement of the drone industry here in the USA. Like so many people who've been flying drones just as a hobby, I passed on the Mavic 4 Pro, mostly due to its cost. $2,800 to $5,000 is a bit much for a hobby per se, but that is just my opinion. If you're on the commercial side of the drone industry, it would probably be a good investment. So, also at the time of its release, it was not available in the USA due to the tariff restrictions. But capitalism always follows the money and finds a way to get to the consumer. Third-party sellers going through eBay, Adorama, Amazon, and a few others were able to deliver the drone to anyone in the USA that wanted one. Most of these vendors are based out of Japan and South Korea, where the U.S. tariffs weren't as steep. So, another issue was that DJI was not offering the Care Refresh package for drone replacement and repair in the U.S. And that would be an issue for someone wanting to fly a $5,000 drone but having no way to fix it should it become damaged. So why do I cover all this? Because I've been keeping an eye on the whole situation for a time that I knew was coming. And that was the release of the DJI Mini 5 Pro drone. A allegedly sub 249 drone, but it turns out that it's not. It doesn't matter to me. It's still in that same class, and it still has the features that I tend to look for in a drone in the Mini series. The drone, even with added tariff prices, was still at my price point for getting. So I did my diligent research, went to eBay looking for two things: the different price point and bundles offered with the Mini 5 Pro, as well as the integrity of the seller. I mostly zeroed in on one I chose based on customer reviews and overall rating of the seller. Most had ratings that were in the 90 percentile or higher, but there were a couple, that had either mediocre ratings or none at all. Save yourself some headache and money. Stay away from those. The price point will be a bit cheaper, but that's the hook. Send them the money, maybe even get a confirmation email, and then nothing. So the particular seller that I used is based in Korea. I will leave the link in the comments below, but I assume no liability for any interaction you may have with that seller. I'm just telling you who I used to get the drone. I ordered the Mini 5 Pro on September 18th. It gave me a projected delivery date of October 2nd. And it actually arrived at my door on September 22nd. I checked the FedEx manifest for the package, and during its trip, the same day it was I ordered it, within an hour it had a FedEx ticket. It was processed out of Incheon, South Korea. That same day it was shipped to Anchorage, Alaska. The next day it was in Indianapolis, Indiana. And on the final day, it made it to Houston, Texas. This is a 4-day turnaround for this package to be delivered. So I was pretty impressed overall with the seller and the delivery service I got with this. The only caveat that I might mention to you is someone does have to be home to sign for it. Person will need to be over 18 years old, but that shouldn't be that much of an issue. I'm sure anybody who's bought drones before has had this happen before, where you have to sign for a package of that expense. Also, on delivery, there were no additional fees, no hidden tariff fees, none of that stuff. Everything was covered by the seller. So the price that was advertised is the price that I paid. So after I got the drone FAA registered, and then a call to my State Farm insurance agent where I added the drone to my personal articles policy. I was ready for the first flight. By then it was dark, which is all the better. The next day I took the Mini 5 Pro as well as my Mini 4 Pro to my favorite park, right here, for an initial test and some comparison footage.
Take off. Home point updated.
And the day after that, I waited till just after dark to do some low-light comparisons with both drones at the Woodlands Waterway, a little ways up the road from where I live here in the Houston area. And just as a reference, I have not used in either one of these shots, or any of the shots so far, on the comparison side, ND filters. No ND filters will you use on either drone at any time during the comparison. In this initial test, I really didn't see much difference between both drones, mostly. You do see more ghosting around bright objects with the Mini 4 Pro than the Mini 5 Pro. Also, the dark areas appear more natural to my eye than the Mini 4 Pro's camera allows you to see. Photo-wise is where some of the differences start to show up. Although with the Mini 5 Pro, while zoomed in past the 2 times zoom factor, the noise factor in the photos is pretty noticeable. I kind of expected a bit better out of the 1-inch sensor on this in this department on this drone, but it is what it is. But the stark differences between the 2 drones really becomes apparent when I went to the coast in Kemah, Texas. In the last clip, I put the Mini 4 Pro into night mode, which made the overall picture even worse. So let's talk about the ND filters and the Fly More bundle that it comes with. Overall, the stock ND filters, I think they do the job more than adequately. I was really impressed with some of the results that I was getting out of these filters. So just take a look at some of this stuff. Although we still have that pesky green lens reflection in any shot in which the sun is involved, and even some bright lights. But this also holds true for my Mini 4 Pro as well as my Air 2S. I'm not sure why. I'm kind of curious why I never saw this reflective green lens dot in, say, my Air 2S or the Mavic Air 2 or my Auto Evo Light Plus. It's kind of odd. I can't really say how the Mini 5 Pro holds up in a stiff wind just yet. The most I've had it up in is like a 20-mile-an-hour wind near the coast, and it didn't have any effect on the drone, any perceivable effect that I could see at all. But on a return flight down in Galveston, when I put it into sport mode, I had about a 12-mile-an-hour headwind, and my speed in sport mode topped out at 34.5 miles per hour, which is something you might want to keep track of if you're going for long flights over open water. Downwind, flying with the wind, a tailwind, in normal mode, the normal speed I noticed is around 33 miles per hour. So 34.5 miles an hour in sport mode it is what it is. One of the items I'm very grateful for DJI keeping in this model is the landing light under the drone. When I fly in low light at night, I turn this on in the settings before going out. It makes for increased visibility in most circumstances, better safety. One of the items I'm not particularly fond of is the gimbal cover. Very easy to get off, not so easy lining up all the props and making sure the gimbal is in the correct position to reinstall it. Oh well, aftermarket will certainly take care of that problem for me eventually. This gimbal it looks like it had been remodeled after the Mavic 3 series drone, and it's a good idea, but it could use some work. On the plus side, again, this drone is extremely quiet. The little annoying children didn't even notice it when it was over 100 feet. And look around wondering what that sound is when it was under 100 feet. Winning. The case. It's basically a rehash of the Avata 2 drone case. It has far more room than this drone really needs, which in a way is nice, because I can slip the Mini 4 Pro into one of the empty slots in this case, so I can carry out both drones at the same time, as well as the Mini 4 Pro RC controller. And by the way, I still use the controller without the screen because I still use a Triple-Tech device for all my drones. It saves a little money. In fact, over the last 3 or 4 years, I probably bet it saved me about $1,000, which is what the Triple-Tech cost me to start with. I mostly use a standard battery with this drone as well as my Mini 4 Pro. I do have 3 extended type batteries for these drones, and I use them, but I can usually get whatever I need with the standard battery, which gives me about 25 to 28 minutes of flight time, which for me is usually more than enough to get whatever shot I'm trying to get. Because of the issue with DJI not offering their Care Refresh service here in the United States, one of the features of this drone I don't see me using too much is the Active Track feature. Because if you're going to crash your drone, that's the best and easiest way to do it. I've tried it in wide open areas though, just to make sure it works, but I don't see me using it too much. Let's just say this all together now, because trees are dicks. The RC controller, as well as the batteries being backward compatible all the way back to the Mini 3, is a plus. Glad to see DJI didn't try to nickel and dime us on a new and improved version of these items for the new Mini 5 drone. Plus. So in conclusion, I find this drone to be a great starter drone for anyone thinking of getting into the world of drones, as well as for any experienced drone pilots out there as well. One of the main reasons I will reach for my mini drone is to try to stay as innocuous and unnoticed as possible for certain situations. It's small, relatively quiet, and can zip around and get the shot with the best of them. So right now, at least here in the USA, obtaining and owning a drone is getting a little sketchy. Sometimes I feel that the US government is making me feel like one of those crazed gun owners. Well, I might be. Licensing and registration isn't enough. I feel that the individual, either the hobbyist or the certified drone pilot, is under a microscope. Getting a drone from a third-party seller feels a little bit like bootlegging. Yeah. Hey, of course it's the real deal. I wouldn't sell you anything else now, would I? This type of system is also being perpetuated by DJI itself as well. Selling basically the same drone under a different company name achieves what? Think our government is going to go trusting you even more by trying to do an end run around their rules? And for those of you out there thinking, well, I'll just wait until the whole tariff thing blows over, then I'll get a drone. Keep waiting. Even after this current administration is long gone, those tariffs will remain in place. Think the next administration is going to kill what looks to be a real nice fat cash cow for the U.S. economy? Not hardly. Why, yes, I think I will have another portion of your FICA income and a nice healthy side dish of tariff hash with my wine, please. Thank you. So if you're undecided on whether or not it's time to get a drone, don't be. This may be the personal drone owner's golden hour. The tech behind these drones is some of the best in the world and some of the best of its time. In other words, get the drone. Thanks for watching. Y'all come back now. You hear?